Hi Jess, it's me. So I read your post a couple days ago, so I've decided that you asked a lot of questions in it, and I'm going to kind of address these questions. So one of your first questions was, what if you don't really know what's in your heart of hearts? And so then I asked a question in response, because that's the psychologist thing to do. How do you know that you know? Like, are you just one day going to come out of the blue and you're going to be like, oh, this is what I want to do? Or is it going to be some kind of gradual journey where you kind of think it is, but you're not sure? Kind of think it is, but you're not sure, but you always keep coming back to it. And I saw this quote that kind of says that you're like an arrow, and it may seem like life is pulling you backwards sometimes, but really it just wants to shoot you forward towards your target. Which kind of goes into your next question, what if you have no idea how to transition? And so the quote kind of answers that. Like, if you feel like you're going backward, there's always something there that is going to move you forward. But this is like something I've been dealing with in going back to Colorado after graduation, because going home isn't like the top thing on my list, but I have this really great opportunity there that I feel is really going to open some doors for me as far as like learning about art therapy and other just like alternative therapies, is because that's kind of what I want to do or what I'm thinking about doing. And like I know the people I'm going to work with like have great connections, and so I just have to like focus on there's that, and that while it may seem like I'm taking a step back, I really am not, because I have this something in this situation that's going to be very, very useful in the future. Also, I'm just a person that says I'm going to do something and then I just do it. For example, I just had a guitar lesson today with one of my friends, and I'm learning it again after I played for like a year in high school and just never did it. But just because I want to, and I have friends who are willing to teach me. And Tin and I were talking about yesterday about how like we do this, like we were like, oh, I want to do it, and then like we do it for a while and then we stop. Which I have kind of done with my languages, which is like, oops. But I'm really going to try and stick with those, and also just stick with this guitar thing, because I just need something that like I can stick with. And I've been doing this 5K training thing. While I'm thinking might not run the whole thing, because I'm starting to realize it's more about fun at liiiiiiiffeeee than being competitive, but I'm just a competitive person. But the 5K thing has been really good. It's like 3 days a week, and it's something that's like routine, and I love routine. So finding something that I can do like every week and be held accountable for it is like what kind of gets me moving and into transition. I also think it's just like about using your resources around you. Obviously, there's an app for that. So I have my app for like my learning languages, I have my app for my running, and I'm using my friends who know more about something than I do. Which I think leads into your next question of not having anyone to make things with. I guarantee that you do. It's just, it takes time finding them, and you'll find them where you least expect it. I have a friend now who is a film major, and we were in this counseling group together like before we were friends, and was like, I am in a really good mood because I saw like this group I really like the other night, and she was like, was it Star Kid? And I was like, yeah, you know them? And she was like, yeah, I was there too. So it was really awesome, and of course we bonded. And then I just realized, like, as I started to get to know her as a friend, like, she's so creative, and she's so passionate about what she's doing and what she wants to do. And I love that about her, and I like want to help like flourish that in her. So I was going to talk to her maybe this quarter, and I talked to her like a little bit last quarter about making something together this quarter, like whatever it is. I told her I wanted to get into more like video things and like editing videos, because that's what I kind of like to do in my off time. And so then she can have something for her resume, and then she can just she can create something. But I always find that encouraging someone else's fire like helps you fuel your own. So your next question is, how do you shape the life that you want? Well, I think this circles back to the next question, and it's like, what is your passion? Like, what in your heart of hearts do you love deeply? And I saw some posts on Tumblr that said the things that you do when you procrastinate is what you should be doing for a career. And I'm not saying we should all just like sit on Tumblr for a career, but it's like, what do you do in your off time that you really like doing, like for you? Like, is it writing, like playing music, like singing or editing videos, or like just being with people? I also think that you can't be afraid to dream super big. Just dare yourself to keep going. Like, dream huge, dream vast, and dream deep, because after a few years, you can trim it down. You can make it into something like beautiful and what you want. I kind of think of like the metaphor as a sculptor with a slab of marble. So like she has a vision, and she thinks she knows the perfect ways to make that vision and all the perfect strokes she needs to make in order for her art to come out. But there's going to be times where she's going to make a wrong move, or she's going to take off too much marble, and so then she just has to readjust how she does things. But in the end, that she is satisfied with her end work because of the journey it took, because she realized and learned new things along the way, and that the end product isn't valued in the end product itself. It's valued within the journey it took to get to the end product. I think we all kind of focus on what's the end result, what's the end goal, and we kind of forget that the ride is half the fun, or whatever. And yeah, there's no guidebook to life, and sometimes it's scary, but also it's very liberating. I think I'd rather not have a guidebook than go by the rules. But that's just me. Also, another quote, just to kind of end up, is something that's written on my fridge, and I look at it like every day when I'm blow drying my hair, just because my head's turned that way. But it says, you should love what you do, because if you don't love what you do, then what's the point? And I always read that every day, and I think, like, that's so right, because I don't want to be stuck in, like, some monotonous job or some life that's, like, over and over and over again. Like, that's what I've always feared, and it kind of seems like what you've always feared, too. But I think that if you do what you love, then it's not going to be like that. And you want to know who said that? Joy Richter! That's just my thinking on things. But reply. Also, if you want to tell me your favorite Judas scene and why, we should talk about it. That would be really great, and I'd be really interested in that. So, I'll probably text you in 2 seconds.